It was the Dems last week, it's the Republicans this week. How's it all going to shake down?
Well, Pete, it started already. In fact, they've actually had a physical meeting down at Charlotte in the convention centre in North Carolina, where the president and the vice president turned up and made a quick speech to a pared-down convention, just 336 delegates, and they formally renominated Donald Trump. That's about the only physical action we're going to see at this convention, Pete. The rest of it will be mostly virtual, and it's going to happen in Washington and also in Baltimore. So what you're going to see over the next 4 days is the president trying to portray a far more positive picture than, of course, the Democrats did last week. He's going to say, look, I fixed the economy. Everything was going great until the China virus, as he calls it, came through, and I'm the best person placed to fix it again. I'll be the president of law and order. The things you care about in America, pro-guns, God, etc., is all going to be much better under my leadership. That's the message he's going to be giving to the faithful for the next 4 days.
So is it going to be, similar to what the Democrats did? You know, you've got a couple of hours each night, Cam, and a couple of speeches here and there, or is it going to be a bit different?
Well, they're going to try and make it a little bit different. They're going to have a couple of events where there's going to actually be some spectators. Like, for example, when Donald Trump gives his big speech on Friday, Australian time, from the White House, there will be some audience members there. Also, when the vice president does that on the previous day, there will be some members there. So they're going to try and make it a little bit more like a real convention, if you like, or at least feel that way. But look, to a large degree, 2.5 hours of programming each night, 1 hour of which will be taken by the big networks here in America. They're going to try and get some bumper speakers there. So to some degree, it will be a bit like the Democrats in the sense you'll have videos with ordinary Americans saying what they like about the president and why he should be re-elected. And then, of course, you've got today, a bit later on this morning, you'll have Nikki Haley, the former UN ambassador. She'll be speaking. She's very popular in Republican circles. And also the president's oldest son, Donald Trump Jr., will be speaking. Pete.
Okay, yeah. And so we've already heard from Donald Trump today. We had a part of his recent live speech on the show about 15 minutes ago, but so there's going to be another speech later on. I know he's speaking every night live. It's part of the cell, I suppose. But is there going to be a speech that trumps the other speeches from Trump, if you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Friday will be the big speech, Pete. His acceptance speech will be the really big speech. In fact, the Republicans have been very cagey about precisely what Donald Trump is doing. It changes every hour. He's going to appear in some form each night, apparently, but he might not speak. So it's a bit of a mystery. Apparently, that's what the president wants. He wants it to be a bit of a surprise. He wants each night to unveil a surprise of some sort and keep the readers interested, very much along the lines of his old reality television instincts, I suspect.
Did the Dems get a bump from last week, Cam?
It's a bit early to say. There's no obvious bump. Pete, you think they would have got a bit of a bump. There normally is one, but we haven't had conventions bump into each other like this. Of course, the Democrat convention was delayed because of the COVID issue. And so, whatever bump Biden gets, I think, will be dissolved by the Trump situation, the Republicans this week. So it's going to be really hard. I think we won't really know what the impact of these conventions is until a couple of weeks after, frankly, when the dust settles.
Yeah, I mean, and then I guess the closer you get to the election, the polls tend to tighten. Where are they at the moment, Cam? Because we had a couple of polls in recent weeks that kind of suggested things were tightening and maybe Donald Trump wasn't too far away from Joe Biden, who had been seen to be streets ahead, but that seems to be narrowing a little bit. So what's the latest on that front?
Well, the best summary is that the Biden was about 10 points up on national polls. Okay, he's about 7.5 now, so it definitely has tightened. That's still a bigger lead over Donald Trump than Hillary Clinton had at this stage, but not by much. Not by much. Only by about 2 points. I mean, this is a very winnable election for Donald Trump, even though he is behind. And so I guess the message right now is, they'll continue to tighten, I think, in the next month ahead, when both candidates get out on the road a lot. So it's definitely an open election, Pete.
Is there any suggestion, Cam, too, that, in the past, and I don't know, it's a bit different this year, you usually have a couple of, celebrity Republicans that have come out, famously Clint Eastwood with his empty chair a couple of years ago, John Voight, a well-known Republican. Is there any suggestion that he might be wheeling out some actors? He does have his Hollywood links.
Yeah, there's lots of rumours about that, but really, they're just not saying anything at this point in time. Right. So if that happens, it's going to be a surprise, that's for sure.